Let's start with a question. Is there any nation in history that Hitler hated, the Inquisition burned to the ground, the Roman Empire razed to the ground, and yet that nation still exists today? Yes. There is only one. In today's video, we'll look for the answer to that question. Why has almost every civilization on Earth for over 2,000 years repeatedly targeted a single nation? It's one of the most uncomfortable, most urgent questions in history. And today we'll look for that answer, directly, clearly. Part 1, the Roman Empire. Imagine a world where you could worship any god you wanted, but there was one thing you couldn't do: deny all gods. That was Rome. An empire that conquered with the sword, but ruled with religious tolerance. The Egyptians could worship their gods. The Greeks offered sacrifices. But there was one condition: obey the emperor. Give him almost godlike respect. Then came the Jews. They didn't bring polytheism. They brought the belief in one God, who was above the emperor. They wouldn't bow to the emperor's image. They wouldn't work on the Sabbath. They wouldn't eat Roman food. They wouldn't mix with everyone else. And the biggest thing, they wouldn't mix with anyone else. The Roman historian Tacitus called them stubborn and arrogant. Emperor Tiberius expelled them from Rome in 19 AD. The excuse was that they were polluting Roman citizens. But the real reason was something else. Rome did not know how to handle a people who were not willing to submit culturally or spiritually. Then came the Bar Kokhba revolt. 132 to 136 AD. The last major attempt by the Jews to reclaim their land. And it failed. Rome's response was brutal. Jerusalem was destroyed. The Jews were expelled from their own city. Their customs were banned. Their history was tried to be erased. And the chapter of a nomadic people began. To Rome, the Jews were a cultural error. They had no place in the vast puzzle of the empire. But one idea was formed, one that would endure for centuries: the Jews were unfit for integration. A foreign body within society. And that fear, when combined with power, almost always ends in torture. Part 2, the rise of Christianity. For centuries, the Romans had viewed the Jews as a people unfit for integration. But as Christianity began to spread, a deeper rift developed. Because this new religion, which had been born out of Judaism, began to see its father as the enemy. At first, Jesus' followers were Jews. Same scriptures, same customs, same festivals. But then a disagreement arose. For them, Jesus was not just a teacher. He was the Messiah, the Son of God. And the Jews didn't accept that. From here, division became inevitable. A powerful and dangerous doctrine was born: supersessionism. That is, Christianity is not just a continuation of Judaism, it has replaced it. God's covenant is no longer with the Jews. Now his chosen people are the church. This idea changed everything. The New Testament letters, especially those to the Romans, began to be interpreted as direct criticisms of the Jewish people. They were called blind to the truth. It wasn't long before Christian leaders began calling the Jews Christ killers. Saint John Chrysostom, one of the Church's greatest orators, called them enemies of God. And his words weren't just about religion. They were about law. In the 2nd century, the Council of Elvira forbade Christians from marrying Jews, or even eating together. Religious hatred turned into social isolation. And isolation didn't take long for bloodshed to turn to blood. At the end of the 11th century, Pope Urban II declared the First Crusade. The goal was to liberate the Holy Land from the Muslims. But many of the Crusaders decided before they even reached Jerusalem, they needed to finish off their near enemies first. The Jews. The Jewish communities in the Rhineland were almost wiped out. Thousands died. And that was just the beginning. Part 3: The Middle Ages and the Inquisition. The situation of Jews throughout Europe during the Middle Ages was caught in a strange paradox. On the one hand, they were needed. Because the Church forbade Christians from lending money at interest, but the economy ran on debt. So Jewish bankers were indispensable. On the other hand, they were hated for the same reason. Jews are usurers, this stereotype was created from then on. And whenever a disaster struck, plague, famine, war, who was to blame? The Jews. In 1348, the Black Death killed a third of Europe's population. There was no science or medicine. People searched for answers. And the answer they got: the Jews are poisoning the wells. Hundreds of Jewish communities across Europe were attacked, burned, annihilated. Then came the Spanish Inquisition. 1478, Queen Isabella of Spain and King Ferdinand established a tribunal, in the name of protecting the purity of the faith. Those who converted from Islam or Judaism to Christianity were viewed with suspicion. Were they really converts? Or were they secretly practicing their old faith? They were interrogated under torture. Confessions were extracted by any means necessary. And in 1492, the same year Columbus discovered America, all Jews were expelled from Spain. More than 150,000 people. They had to leave their homes. They had to leave their property. They had to set out on the road with only their faith. But wherever they went, they faced the same question again. Who are you? Why aren't you like us? Part 4: Modern Age and the Holocaust. In the 19th century, it seemed that everything was changing. The wind of enlightenment was blowing in Europe. Science, reason, human rights, these things were rising. The French Revolution declared equality. In many countries, Jews gained citizenship. They became lawyers, doctors, and professors. It seemed that this phase might stop. But it didn't stop. Because a new idea came in place of religious hatred, racial superiority. And it was even more terrible. There was at least one way against religious hatred: conversion. But this new doctrine said, you are inferior from birth. You won't be saved even by converting. A failed painter emerged in Germany. He poured the humiliation of the country, the economic ruin, the anger of the people, all into one place. And that place was the Jews. Adolf Hitler. Gradually, it became a law. Jews lost their jobs. They lost their businesses. Lost citizenship. Then came the darkness of night. Kristallnacht, November 1938. In one night, hundreds of synagogues burned down across Germany and Austria. Thousands of shops collapsed. Shards of glass littered the streets. After that, camps, gas chambers, furnaces. 6 million Jews, women, men, children. 6 million. The number is easy to say. But can you grasp it? Behind each number was a name. A family. A dream. The Holocaust is not just an event in Jewish history. It is one of the greatest failures of human civilization. And it happened in modern Europe. In the age of science. In the age of reason. Because hatred, when organized, when it gains the power of the state, knows no age. Part 5, Conclusion and Questions. So let's get back to the question. Why? Why was a nation repeatedly targeted? Historians give different answers. Some say, difference. The Jews were different. They kept themselves separate. Difference breeds fear. Some say, economic envy. They succeeded in the society they went to. And success breeds envy. Some say, scapegoating. When a society is in trouble, they look for an enemy. And the Jews have always been outsiders, so easy targets. But hidden in all these explanations is a truth, one that applies to all of us. People fear what they don't understand. People hate what they fear. People want to destroy what they hate. This is not the story of the Jews. This is the story of humanity. And the most terrible thing is, it didn't stop even after the Holocaust. There is still anti-Semitism in the world today. People still believe in conspiracy theories. People are still killed for their identity. But are the Jews destroyed? No. Rome wanted to exterminate them, it couldn't. The Crusaders wanted to exterminate them, it couldn't. The Inquisition couldn't. Hitler couldn't. Is it just luck? No. It's the strange stubbornness of a nation, to faith, to identity, to survival. The most persecuted nation in history has perhaps taught us the most. That something true cannot be erased by any oppression. oppression. Share this video. Because if you don't know history, history repeats itself. And subscribe, because there are many more stories like this.